guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to another prediction video on the channel. Today we're predicting match week 14 for the Premier League, of course. In this one, there's a lot of really interesting games, so stick right to the end to see all my predictions. It's now December. You'll notice a change in the thumbnail, of course, a little festivity added to that. This month is going to be hectic with videos for predictions, and hopefully I can get a lot of Christmas content for you as well. That's the plan. Well, hopefully you'll enjoy it. If you do, drop a like and subscribe, much appreciated. Of course, I've set a goal of hitting 1,500 subscribers by the new year. Fingers crossed we can get that. You guys decide. Let's get into these predictions now then. We begin at the Emirates, and the visitors are Wolves. What a win it was for Arsenal midweek. In the Champions League, I think it was ended 6-0 against Lens. What a result for Arsenal. In this one, they take on Wolves, who, under Gary O'Neill, I mention it every week, they've been doing well. A narrow defeat to Fulham last Monday. But in this one, I'm back in the Gunners. It's hard not to these days. 3-1 to the Arsenal at home. Next up, we go to the G-Tech Community Stadium, where it's Brentford hosting Luton Town. And Luton Town, of course, last time out against Crystal Palace, got their first home win of their Premier League era. Incredible for them. First Premier League win of the season as well for them. Oh, home win. They did get a win against Everton, didn't they? Against Brentford in this one, who have been a lot better since the start of the season. They've been improving, and that's why. And in this one, I think they'll get a 2-1 narrow win at home against Luton Town. Not an easy game, this one, but I think they just about scrape a win here. Moving on to Turf Moor, and it is a must win for both sides. But only one side can win or share the points in this one, and I think it will be the hosts. I think recently they've been getting the goals. Of course, they scored one against West Ham, Jay Rodriguez from the spot, I'm pretty sure it was. They held out for quite a long time, and then of course West Ham with the quality come through. Against Sheffield United, this is a golden opportunity for them to get their first home win of the season, and I think they will. Burnley 2, Sheffield United 0. But this one could go either way. Depends what team is better on the day. 2-0 to Burnley, though, is my prediction. Off to the City ground, and it's Forest hosting Everton. Everton with, in the end, it was a decent performance against Man United. I don't think the scoreline is a fair reflection of that. As for Nottingham Forest, there's growing frustration, apparently, reportedly, from the owner on Steve Cooper. Could we be seeing a managerial change at Forest in the near future? Crystal Palace said to be interested if he does depart Forest. But for Forest manager Steve Cooper saying that he's going to have to be dragged out of Nottingham Forest if he was to leave. In this one, though, I think Forest will fall to defeat. Everton have been better on the road this season. I think they win this one 3-1. But a really interesting encounter in this one. It could go either way. 3-1 to Everton, though, is my prediction. Off to St James's Park. This is a really big game, and one I think a lot of people are excited for. On paper, may not look as exciting as it may seem. Newcastle taking on Man United, but Man United, in the Premier League at least, have been doing really well. What a goal from Garnacho. That'll be replayed for years and years to come. As for Newcastle, still scoring goals, despite the injuries. They've been robbed in the Champions League midweek. I think they will prefer me not to speak about that as well. But in this one, I'm back in the Toon for a 3-2 home win over Manchester United in the Premier League. Off to the Vitality, the visitors are Aston Villa, who have scored as many goals as Newcastle this season. And when you take into account that, 8 of those goals for Newcastle were against Sheffield United, it makes you appreciate how, attacking and good Aston Villa have been this season. Good's such a generic word, but, Aston Villa have been, really good going forward as of late. They have been conceding a few goals here and there, but that is bound to happen when you play such expansive football like Unai Emery's men. In this one, they take on Bournemouth, as I've said, who, of course, got the win last time out against Sheffield United. In this one, though, they fall to defeat. Aston Villa 3, Bournemouth 0. Off to Stamford Bridge, and they take on Brighton. at home. This one is going to be a really good watch for the neutral, at least. But there's been a few injuries on both sides. And I think this one could end a draw. 1-1 is my prediction here at Stamford Bridge. Off to Anfield, the visitors are the Cottagers, who got a 94th minute winner from the spot from Willian in their Monday night game against Wolves. What a game that was. I called a 5-goal thriller, but I called it the other way to Wolves. In this one against Liverpool, it was a brilliant point against Man City, which really opens up the title race. And for a neutral like myself, I think for the first time in a few years, we could have a really good title race this season. City, Arsenal and Liverpool all going for it. I think this could be an incredible season at the top end of the league at least. In this one, I'm backing Liverpool to win 3-1 at Anfield. Off to the London Stadium, and they welcome another London club in Crystal Palace. Of course, they fell to defeat to Luton Town last time out. Not many teams have done that this season. However, a really tough team to play against. West Ham come from behind to beat Burnley last weekend. And in this one, it's going to be a tricky game, but I think West Ham just about come out on top. 2-1 in this one. And the final game to predict is at the Etihad. It's Man City hosting Tottenham Hotspur, and I think the citizens will get the job done with a 3-0 win. Of course, midweek in the Champions League, they were 2-0 down, but even at that point, I'm pretty sure every fan thought they would come back, and they did in the end. City, they just too good at the end of the day, and in this one, I think that'll come through as well. Quick note on Spurs. 3 defeats in a row. I think they'll make it 4 here. What's happened? We were talking about them being potential title winners a few weeks ago. What's happened now? Completely fallen off. But I guess that's the Tottenham Hotspur effect for you. Well then guys, hopefully you all enjoyed that video. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe as always. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one very soon guys. Take care. Goodbye.